Go ahead and say your name.
All right. My name is Johnathan McFarland, and I'm 32 years old, and actually, I guess it started off with me in 2006. I was having my first children. They were twins, and actually, before they were born, actually, I made them a promise to make the world a better place for them. You know,
what are their names?
Johnathan and David. That's my first and middle name. I was kind of maybe overzealous at that point. You know, maybe I had a very big ego at that point too. But I made a promise, you know, to make the world a better place for them, and that was my issue. You know, it was like really, I made that. I had to learn, I had to re-educate myself. Actually, matter of fact, I was reading every book I could find. I mean, you would know I was reading everything, and so I had a good job too. But I knew that wasn't enough. And
are you from St. Louis?
Born and raised. A lot of my issues were racial. A lot of these issues in St. Louis City are racial. There's a lot of gentrifying going on in St. Louis. Probably a lot of gentrifying going on in a lot of places. It's like United States thing. Gentrify or else, you know.
But exactly Missouri is a tough state, though. You have two bookends, I call them, Kansas City and St. Louis, that are more progressive, more liberal, more out, more open, more aware.
Yeah.
But it's couched in a state that's rural, and so they get a lot of negative about the city.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, wow. You said that there's a lot of negativity from the rural areas? Is that?
Well, in the rural area, you know, it's a little different. There are people that are trapped there. We have flowers that want to get out, you know. But in the city, you just have more people that are open and understanding and that are willing to work together, is my point.
Yeah, I think those are a lot of libertarians. Like, let's say I go to the north side, there's a community of people moving into the community, and these are libertarians. They believe and they got good ideas, actually. But eventually what happens is it becomes gentrification. It's not like Republicans who come and gentrify. It's actually libertarians. They come in, they got good intentions, but as they come in, they actually move African Americans out. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, now that opens the door for more white people to come in and move in. And that's just the reality of the situation. You know, they have good motives, but they don't apply them, I guess, in the best light of the African American community.
So basically, I've always said to be as inclusive as possible. But on our half, on the behalf of the African American community, what can we do? What do we need to do in order to make our own balance and not say we got moved out, but maybe moved up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we have to form our own institutions. The only way we can form institutions is by organizing it. So therefore, we got to learn how to organize, and through organization, you get education. So after you learn to organize, you learn what you want to do, and then you learn the learning. You know what I'm saying? And it's a step-by-step process, and it's really a cultural process, and we need to change our culture. If we're not changing our culture, what are we here for? I mean, I'm here, I'm 32 years old. I've grown up and watched the decimation of my people from this particular point in the 80s, in which I can remember, to this point now, and it seemed to me to be getting worse, and even if it's staying level, that's not good enough. We need to be increasingly going and moving forward, and that's a cultural thing. That's really a cultural thing.
So, okay, I've been here since 1985, originally from El Paso, Texas. So it's different. You know, every area, every region is different, has its own, you know, who's its, what's its, ups and lows and stuff like that. But here in St. Louis, how can you do that to capture the African American community's imagination about it's still our responsibility to make our world a better place to live in, and that we can't depend, we have to work with.
Right. How you capture that imagination, right?
How do you get the imagination of children? I've taught. It's hard.
I think.
How do you get the kids to believe?
Right.
Believe when we say, "Hey."
That's everything to me is cyclical, and I just think we got to get the parents. You know, it's the parents that we really reaching for, but we do have to grasp those students and teach them probably a better way. And I think through the educating of the parents, we can get to the education of those young people. And I don't think we really extend our hands to the parents well. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Maybe in pockets, maybe somewhere else or whatever. But the issue is like when the child goes to school, they learn whatever they learn, or at least they seek to learn. But when they come home, if their parent is beating into their head that you ain't gonna ever amount to anything, and not necessarily by saying it, but by showing it, then that's what they gonna get. You know, like if their parent come home and say, I'm decimated, I only work at a hotel, I'm a doorman at a hotel every day, and my life is nothing, and this is all you're gonna amount to too, then that's what that child's gonna be thinking, and eventually that's gonna break that child's spirit, and eventually they turn into a teenager who gave up on life, and just the next thing they're thinking about is, hey, that's the next time I can have sex. That to me seems to be cyclical also. That to me, sex is not a up thing; it's a down thing. It's like, hey, you throw yourself at sex so rampantly, and it can't be beneficial to you. That's and I would like to draw that out, but here I'm on Facebook, and I got all these young people on my page, and they talk about sex all the time. They say, smash and add. I mean, God, come on now. You are killing yourself. I need you to know it, but I can't force it on you. Knowledge, you cannot force knowledge on some person. I encourage you to learn, though.
You know, on Facebook, I have a joke with a couple of friends where I say, you know, if we put penises and vaginas on political information, people would read it.
Yeah.
We trick them into reading it. It's like, what is this? You know, it's a trick. Well, but you were able to instill that seed, that one piece of information that it's okay to be smart. You need to be smart. Half of us need to be smart because we need to know how to read a lease. We need to know how to purchase a car. We need to know how to fill out a job application. What?
Yeah, we need to know all those things. We need to be able to add to them and develop our own constraints, our own structures. Actually, like whatever, even on a piece of paper, that legal form that we filling out, we need to be able to develop those. That way, we can create for ourselves our own pacts, our own rules, our own regulations. And like Malcolm X said. He said, if we go around asking for whatever, and when they give it, it's never ours, and they can just take it back. So we got to go and demand it, and that means, to me, living in our own communities and demanding and developing ourselves. And that, to me, that's what this is. I'm at Occupy St. Louis. We are developing real structures, something that you can take home or take a million other places actually, and develop the same thing time after time after time, and it will work time after time after time. And I know it works. You know why? Because there's historical proof that it works. Because our founding fathers did it. I mean, the founding fathers of this nation did it. You can name anybody. They did it. When any governing body is formed in this particular direct way. And we are doing a true democracy. True democracy, Barry. This is true democracy.
Are you saying, Jonathan, that this has happened before?
You all right? Yeah. This is a revolution. Our founding fathers did this thing. If you go take a stab back in history a little bit, you will find out the Tea Party, the first Tea Party done in Boston, you know, that was very representative of what we're doing right now. You know, we are doing that same thing. We are saying, hey, we fed up, we can't take it no more. And to me, it's always been our fault. I feel like 99% of all should be at fault. We did this to ourselves by saying we're going to give them the responsibility. We're going to say, this expert, we're going to rely on this expert. So now the governing bodies, corporations, or whatever you want to call them, they give us an expert and say, hey, this expert is going to say this. Now we just follow suit. It's time for us to wake up and start to realize we are our own experts. We are our own experts. I mean, you living, right? You know how to live, right?
Yes.
You know that you got to eat, right?
Yes.
You're an expert in life. Let me tell you that.
Okay. All right. So that's what we're doing. Occupy St. Louis. Do you see a better day?
Yeah. We're going to continue this and spread it around. I'm not going to ever stop. They're going to have to do something with me. They're going to throw me into the jail, I guess, but I'm not going to ever stop, man. This is what I've been pushing now for the last 4 years, you know.
But our jail is overcrowded, so I think if anybody got arrested in St. Louis, they wouldn't be in there very long. Because it's overcrowded.
Let's say if the powers that be wanted to get rid of this movement, they would take all the leaders of this movement and throw them under the jail. And that might not mean put you in it. That might mean literally bury you 6 feet down. You know what I'm saying? And say, hey, he was a dissenter and he refused, and somebody hit him in his temple. I mean, don't the police now have a great excuses to kill people? They kill people. They get away with it. Now you don't think that's gonna happen if they push that envelope? That's gonna happen. They're gonna be like, it was not excessive force, but the person was resisting arrest. But the person was shooting at him with no real evidence, and they never found the weapon, but they killed him because that person seemed to have a gun that nobody else saw but that police officer who killed him. Maybe those 12 police officers who shot him 68 times or something, you know. I mean, it happens it's happened a lot. It's repeatedly happening. I mean, God, or they might just put you in handcuffs and say, "Oh, I grabbed the wrong gun."
Oh, okay.
I meant to grab my. I mean, how you gonna be in handcuffs?
Okay, so that you bring up
the video.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. Now, let's say we're 10 years down the road. A lot of policy has changed. A lot of legislation has changed. A lot of people are coming into the mix. The 1% per se is now under watch. Okay, so how do we change the 1%'s perception about us so that they will be less hostile? Because it's hostility from their fear. You know, like if you had something and you don't want to give it up, and you're not done with it yet.
Yeah.
They're not done. I think, where are they saving all the money for? They're going to buy us something for Christmas?
Right.
They're not buying me or you anything for Christmas. So, how can we, once we achieve certain goals, cut down on the hostility? I'm sorry, man. We doing the interview.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
But thank you.
I'm sorry about that, man. Anyway.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so how do we ramp down the hostility between the 1% and the 99% as advances are taking place, as we're getting more smart, as we're getting our money back? Because we got to get our money back.
I think this is not a movement to really necessarily. I think it's a movement to take back power, right? So if you take back power, it ain't about. It's not about like still submitting to this 1%. You know, it's not about saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna let the 1% have even." But we're not gonna let the 1% have what they have. So what this movement is, the 99% is that we demanding change. You know, so. Let's say in 10 years, you know, we changed a lot of policies or whatever. I think we still moving forward. What we're trying to get is not just a change in policy, but a change in the structure of our government itself, you know, because it is that time. I mean, Thomas Jefferson wrote that every 200 years we should have a revolution and dismantle the government and reestablish it.
Oh, okay.
It's way past due, right? We got, 500 years now. We way
Yeah, we're slow.
Yeah, we're a little slow. We've been complacent for too long, and now we have broken. Actually, the 1% has done us a great favor, breaking that complacency. And
you think they went to sleep too?
They just didn't think we was gonna wake up. That's what it was. So here we are, waking up.
We're waking up, going, hey, I don't like that. Wait a minute.
God, I've been protesting for years now.
Where'd you start?
I started with this organization, More. We took over dinners where I guess a lot of political figures were having a place that cost $200 or so, and we've I mean that's the issue when people are losing their job. They having these dinners like this, dancing on top of these people's head, like, oh, we made it, forget them, you know. And then we would protest outside of Bank of America. We took our fight to City Hall, camped out for like a week outside of, actually it was more like 10 days. We camped outside.
When was that at?
It was called the People's Encampment, I believe. The what did we call it? And we did it in St. Louis, outside of City Hall in Soldiers Memorial Park.
And when was that?
That was last year.
Okay, so you know what I'm getting at, right? You know what I'm getting at. Occupy America, wherever it's at, doesn't start until really August, September of 2011, but many different organizations and many different people, minorities, have been doing it for so long. So now, it's kind of like they're catching up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. I feel that, and thank you so much. And I just think, you're right. It was a lot of different people doing it. Like, I know a lot of squatters. To me, they were doing it. And they've been doing it for years. I mean,
right.
I don't think
history here.
Right. It's a lot of history in the Occupy movement, and it's this time that we did this with the tents. I mean, if you look around, there's tents everywhere.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And God, somebody else said it. It's a shame. It's diminishing
It's downtown St. Louis. Can you believe it? Look at this. Look at this. Right there. But stay.
Right here.
Yep. Look at that. Downtown St. Louis, Missouri.
All right.
Goodness. Downtown St. Louis. I'm trying to stay out of the sun, too.
It's a beautiful spot.
It is a beautiful spot. My bad.
Great day.
My bad. That one's for the edit crew.
I actually think, as an occupier and hearing stories and watching videos of other occupiers, that we have it too good. I mean, our mayor works with us. Our everybody works with us on so many different levels. That other cities, I mean, I think other maybe entities of police and other mayors and whatnot, they should take heed of what we're doing here,
Okay, so
in our first
I want
right.
you to repeat that. Because I'll see now, a lot of people wouldn't say, we have a great mayor. You know what I'm saying?
I won't say we have a great mayor.
But we have a mayor that hasn't come down on this group.
Right.
So Mayor Francis Slay, he's been around for what, 3, 4 terms now?
Yeah, something like that, right? And I don't think he's a great mayor. I can tell you how he defunded the public educational system. I can tell you that he has, matter of fact, promoted charter schools into this area, and he's actually given $2 million of public school monies to the Peabody Coal Corporation to keep them in the city of St. Louis. Now, I want you to note that there's the Peabody Coal Company right behind us, and they are the largest coal company in the world. They make trillions of dollars every year. Why would you give them $2 million so they can stay in this city when we needed that to keep our educational system going? There's really something wrong with that.
That was wicked.
It was.
That was wicked. Okay, so when they say schools are failing, we shouldn't really wonder why. Why did that happen?
I think, though, I would go back to the Department of Education. I would say they're not doing their job where they sitting. If our students in our schools don't want to learn or not learning, then it's their job to really look at curriculum and really start to think how we change it to make sure that every student learns. Because a more educated populace is a better country that it serves. But I guess maybe our leaders want to be leaders of weaker people so they can be weaker leaders, and that's why I'm just gonna throw that on their plate. Maybe even Obama, throw it at everybody. If you're a political leader, maybe you want to be a leader of a weaker people so you can be a weaker leader. Think about it.
You know what? That was beautiful, and I'm gonna leave it like that because it shows hope. It does. So what do you want to do when this has kind of died down and things have gotten better a little bit? What are you going to do, Johnathan, with the energy and the wave that's coming? It's going to happen. There's a change is going to happen because now everybody's awake. You got London, you've got Australia this morning. They got up. Alaska. It's happening. Change is coming. So there's going to be a wave. So when you go to bed at night, when you lay down, and you right before you fall asleep, what is Johnathan going to do to take advantage of the push that's coming?
I think we are now establishing a new, or actually a reborn humanity, a sense of who we are. You know, I mean, for so long we have allowed the system to dictate who we are. They say, hey, you are in this pocket. Here you are. You live in Chesterfield. You are a Chesterfielder, and you don't associate with those in North City. But in reality, all of us are in the community, no matter what and how we look at it, and we relate to each other. Even if we don't touch each other, even if we don't see it directly, we relate to each other. So we are waking up to that, and that's why here you see people coming in from Chesterfield, you see people coming in from North City, you see people coming in from South City. They all meet up, and now they're having this discussion about how we create change that benefits us all. So if we having that discussion on that level, and I think that's the human connection in which we seek, and I think that's the love that develops there with it. You know, I think it's love. You know, like we miss love. We don't have it. We are actually taught against it. We say, hey, don't love them because that might hurt you. And I just think, hey, you know, if you put love first, you start loving people more. What eventually happens, you start teaching other people how to love you back, and then what you put out, you get back. So you will start seeing this reciprocating love just transfer the world. And people say, oh, that can't happen, that can't happen. But then when you say it can't happen, what you're going to do is you're going to look at somebody and judge them automatically and treat them like you don't love them and treat them like you don't care. And now that comes back to you. So you in that cycle right now. Break that cycle. I don't care who you are. You need to break that cycle. Break it. Work your hardest to break it. I broke it. I remember how everything used to come back on me, and I refused, because Gandhi's quote was, you must become the change you seek. And I refused to stop. I refused because I felt like, hey, you know what, I'm going to be the change I seek, and I know things, and I believe in karma, so all the karma I put out is coming back to me. So I'm getting pounded with different issues, that and this, the other thing, and people attacking me on this level and that level, but I knew that I'm going to keep on loving, I'm going to keep on treating them that. And I remember the feelings where I wanted to stab back, but I was like, nah, you know what? Let it come, and this is my own fault. I built this up. I had a relationship with this person, and it came back to me, and it was negative, but it's my own fault. I did it to myself, and I took that, and I keep on walking, you know. And now I'm living this dream life. You can't imagine all the love that comes to me, all the gifts that people bring me, all the people who share their life experiences with me. My whole life is a total change, and I can't emphasize that to you enough. I mean, I want people to change, and I need people to see it. And a lot of people say, do we need a guru, or we need a political leader, or something like that? I hate politics, you know. I live my life to the fullest that I can, and I understand the value on the intricate levels. I really do understand some deepness that I don't really think a lot of people do, but I read a lot. Maybe that's it, or I don't know, but I really wish to educate people on these profound levels of life, you know, that you don't get in school. That's what I think school should teach, actually. I think school should teach the depthness of humanity and teach that to the children on the lowest level. I mean, and I say on the lowest level, meaning like 3 years old, the youngest people, teach them the basics of humanity. Teach them how, through experience, how to garden. That means everybody in their backyard should have a garden. You got a kid, you got a garden. If you don't got a garden, you're doing your children a disservice. And you, to me, I ain't gonna go that far. I'm gonna stop right there. But know
the
that
humanity part.
Yeah, but you gotta
I like the humanity part.
Yeah.
Please and thank you, and then humanity, right?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. All right. All right. Occupy St. Louis. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.